obia na eye nti saafo ni nyina na omo twen say His Excellency the President na Nana akufo-addo beba na watumi abebie ma adwuma ba se de na oka no ni nyina mo no de na di mu pa di kan wa na do campaign mu na free SHS oba ya 2017 na o share free SHS na se na me busa sa fuwe ya ye kwa akoto aba no ede na wo gina so akoto aba adwuma na wo pe between the two political parties adwuma na wo pe a ugidi se hwan na obetimi a create nyuma wo hwe om ne ye ene wonom nkasaye ene niam ahodo a omo ye no a hwan na obetimi a create adwuma ama wanya biaye senya adwuma na wo pa ede na wo hwehwe onom a afi wo manya akwan call free SHS edi adanse menu ya Samson kire se apart from niam a ototo ede ma ne ma no ede ma ne babai wa no okoduru ho school ho no obia musa no hwe aje se ye nkranhye pa niam no dodo no ano ye akwada no na obe yusu enti ehu hia se eba na sa onso de ho ehyem bi afi ye beto aba two leaders and about one John so power John Ramani Mahama and Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Some penny for him about one Jina so no. Omujina political party mienu anemu. His Excellency the former President John Ramani Mahama agena NDC anemu. And Dr. Mahmoud Baumia so agena MVP anemu. Now so see a to abano de manu via. Ni pakure be to abano dia mano no. Ono ni su any nim die. Any near me one adwene mo susu se be hia o meyi. Ena dodo no a wode ba be adwuma a entia memwo mra constitution no eni se nya to aba e de ma a leader Ghana ha se wie pe nipa no said de ohuna memwo said de ote a memwo ase said de ne nhyehyeye ye ne na adwene ye no eno ena obegina so e de abu Ghana man na no kwasem e wo mu nso ne se ne wo nipa trim ne pie na no nkomodie no koso mpanimfo no kasa kire yen omo kire wo ma adwene omo kire omo nim de omo kire de ompeso de beboa Ghana na ugidi sasa mpanimfo emi no omo hwan e na wo to aba e de mano a obeboa ama Ghana akona nim ndi kan bo amane se me guest lawyer Raphael Agyapong ye ka say me ka se watena ase anesa enche ne de nkomo no e hyasie anyway mamen kai wo se wo mo a eboa ye Franco Trading Enterprise phone papa fie Franco Trading Enterprise for some country so main office no adabraka on Roxy Cinema na hwe animu and okre wo mne se on mobile no na ye company kitwa bi na omo hye ase di phones ne bi kra na ya mu kakra e wi ase se wo ye no kwafo a nipa ji utum enti Ghana fo hye ase se omo ju omo atum ene omo de mobile phones na hye ase omo de TV be kan ho air conditions by refrigerators, fridges, ahodo by make us all the CCTV cameras about can actually a company no kwa na air con nim and the woman so and they say on one company organ has a product you know money beer. The next company will ask be a yes product and within 24 hours on the bedroom and no dear won't mean you watching one main office no other brack on the Roxy Cinema and the share anymore. Now I'm saying control say or more outlets no doorso and tea. Ofra baby a wujina normal director baby a wasa oko 0555 939311 0555 939311 ya ka ese oko online francotrading.com a omoni amani nyina nso gu ho no mo a eho nso obetumi akọ na wakodi eho enkomo sabre a lawyer Raphael Agyapong atena ase de na chese enkomo na wo se ehya ase menu akọ aba yenua boko de atwa me na nso me ho ye mpempi no eba ni say ya na me hu ba bi a me do fa de ntia me hu ba bi a me do fa no last Tuesday boiling point no me ya sure so si abonto ya say nya course kakra sa o nya ko there you sa bia na omuni me number ade no mo say no mo say o pedi ba ko no a o frɛ apart from me calls am nya ye ne messages no o frɛ no so ba bia na raf na mo na me yam hihye mi o bata kire me te na se and I'm say sa no toda yeah yeah that's so ampa on say minimum you want to say emu ye de challenging but the money interesting is a passion okay the whole passion now okay sure now adwuma no opa
no matter how difficult it is, we may overcome the challenges. But also, obedient the case, abroad no, sabi on the mother. Now, owner pressure is used. Say a bad case, Ankoya, or no official lawyer, one. A good case, no koya lawyer, a dear. A total so area near novelty, it being shed anyhow. Yeah. Into lawyer now say at least a convince the court no man who say this is the position law no, you far a beboa. Into a very challenging, and yet the be clear cut, a very challenging. But say unim case no very well, none of facts. Now we determined say even similar cases are banned. You can convince a judge, even to a point, say, this is the position, Krana say, the ultimate court, which is the Supreme Court. I've done it. Cases, a motion, be out the court. A come motion application said, leader, majority leader, they be called cost execution. A be a the case right there, and no, oh, I dare be cham walk. Your prayer is that the judge should at least, or the court should understand your argument. Because if you said this is the position of the law, what no client akasa manati say, I know the one where that 30 minutes we are no any ati. Okay. And to me na. Till say one with the finality of adeno. Oh, now the man ultimate that kakra says your legal vacation and not pressure no for more. I know there. And yes, there lawyer ultimate that 8 hours pa no. Them say. Najuma no so. Okay.
Najuma no passion. Meaning say we for be brete. At what point na we decide say we be go into law and we be a motivate a tool for.
Me your friend me Kwame lawyer na me your lawyer. Okay. I go New York. Okay. Your friend me Kwame lawyer na me your lawyer. Okay. It is because you take American crab no. Anytime they are say 2, 3 or 4 years, you an argument because. Okay. Yeah, arguments and deny my passion. Okay. Oh. The biano, I mean, you proof points say we see when you see, more especially when you argue on political matters. Because I know it be called by Emra. Oh, indeed, me and I'm very passionate about it right from a friend say and Crabroom. Indeed, I'm Kajoko New Yorker, who do Bronx especially. I'm lawyer, but that time I'm your lawyer, I'm a undergrad. Okay. Into passion or that. I say, what cases are Supreme Court recently? Petitions, election petitions there. Many people developing interest. And them say over call numbers now. Endorse near the day. Lawyers be of course to complain. The Bisuka Castle they say lawyers endorse near the day. I hold a different view. And the minute director law school didn't come, I was director. I say admission oh yeah, pa observe those Kaswati.
That's all more.
Observe those Kaswati. And I'm saying a sonte, but you want to bear in mind from the time law school existed, even before. Open law school, say 57 or so. No. And I'm for free England, a ban any other common law countries a ban. Up to now, the number of lawyers I owe, including a woman, I don't think they do 11,000. You do cry a little over 11,000, including a woman. And you share lawyers or more system nimpa. Or you be a bear 4,000 or 5,000.
Or more practitioner.
Or more system. Okay. Practitioners will be less. Okay. Because Accra and a practitioners law. So Accra say it is possible the maximum number we may have as practitioners. It be at this time the record be 2,000. Because be a real law school. No, if it's law, no buy a easy way to make money. No, it is it your occupation hours no or firm you know 1-2 years or say make up a corporate be a bit relaxed because a whole workload no yet. Court, argument, adversarial point of view, how do we review documents? No advise a company know what to do. It's yama a bino more be now back to corporate. Any other institutions. But practitioners and Kasa or court they be well known to the court system. Accra and Kasa no many sure say you do 2,000 and it be a 2,000 and a little over 2,000. Because until recently about 4-3 years ago, now a crimes here be 1,100 or 900. And more practitioners. And no cry near the or more a renew on license for the year. So I'm practicing eka. And to be him cry, I be a mom court room and Casacran and Drusa. Nakumasi Afulu and Sanem Sunyano or Takrade. One of them Abba. Indeed, ever cast a number in the doors near there. Just that in the panel bano a be the problem, the challenge or the problem is that some junior lawyers omba quarter or buy our pursue a friendly case. No content and no catch you me call yeah and train yes, sir. we a junior lawyer, time a junior lawyers, no, me a senior, as say, time a junior lawyers, no cockota. Or so what ten senior behind the case. Now what ten is sure be free.
At what point now obey a senior?
Unya 10 years.
10 years.
Was so ten senior behind the case. Now sure be free.
Yeah.
And son what to be a flu. But now quite no be a responsible senior patrol the coming senior patrol. You are not learning anything. Because you see what lawyers do who pay. Hey, I mean the argument about and I mean for pen paper. I mean taking notes. Oh, those sometimes be a court. You do not one court to have my sign me a boss, Kwame Jana, only feet.
Okay.
And will be a coffee diary.
Okay.
Or taking notes.
Yeah.
But so who dear Kwame Jana.
Yeah.
Because of it, you authority no better.
Yeah.
Oh, and I mean, Sani is here, they're rational. Crawford Rashi, Physio, Pentama, Conmassa, I want to make money, Debbie. Who is it? Pursue and it should begin now.
And your passion, I want to can be doing him.
Do any so. Emfa because obaji case bia and a case enya no you should be able to look at the client in the face, advise him or say we you quite bepem entimenje and I say I mean area we me bi da fa komo bi fufuro.
Okay.
I don't do the chain na bibia o person. I mean when you are known to be like that there's a problem. Because what some call a friend other lawyers you already aside of here or call inquisition obey enye enti se enye sika na bedi wanim na the passion na ade na usua law no asa enya mu experience by going to court and then utnase no wati omo ba company for no de omo kan watro bibi ono tbb utietie se ukra ne last person there are some senior lawyers omo ye senior shenkrofobia when they go to court and see them argue they will sit and take notes because omo nim there e woni pa so it is a typical example is stadio sorry so argue people break to court no ma fa pen paper.
Okay.
They want to listen and take notes because on benya bibia free.
Okay.
Sani esua law no. But do the sika di wani say oh yabanti de ehu no recent times they say bebre na omo ba no sika di omani mo ba ompe onya adaji nsua de opentem no abeka say gu senior we de kamiji date senior me say oh Russia
kwan.
Also tobo because senior no ye senior now no ye ni case no akọ chamber no. Ono de wafasa no wani bido afa na eba be experience among to one to bu anya daje ensua ne sa now person with the rush in this can ade enche now you are known to the system so mo number you know you don't know oga well for your career
sabri awa he de me gidi senkrofo epe onomo kene anas nsem no ba bia akopim sese once out here asi ana
metimi akasa asi high court level because Mekai Kakra, say after the high court judgment in favor of Ken, Anas Echo Supreme Court of finally sexual right said when the judge was biased in his language or say language was harsh, and when the Chief Justice then said judge you know tickets in the so or say na and also so was done without notice to or no. And also so prejudicial and bias. The Supreme Court should set aside or quash the judgment of that particular high court. No. And to me, I'm going to America, but me rush by court no by majority decision of 3-2. And thrown out. But before then, no lodge appeal to the Court of Appeal. Now, I check a crack or lodge appeal no we by and I'm say. Or logic appeal, no. If I stand to Okrobia no correct me, it's a year later. I'm correct, you know. I'm say Okoma Omo Okotria conditions of the appeal. If I remember, say me cry make sign be. But appeal no, what system new for some time. Recent times, Chief Justice obey case cry check a year or more na see fra or me the archives. And as I say, I'm say ya pay ya 2 years money. And to me, sure say appeal as a system nim. Me sure say me invoke process be a bit dismiss appeal, but I suspect say as a system nim because after Supreme Court, Court of Appeal processes now no initiative was stalling. So the bad day we ever ready for him. Okay. You better take the appropriate steps now. You respond appropriately. And yeah, they
as a lawyer, my mini home komo kakrana. The judgment shall say ban money at them because say passion tina me bisa now feel saying
and ask case yes and a senior lawyer Bishop airport. To her, me say, me too as you. Oh, Madame Jim, when I'm saying there, was it? I dare we are seeing that the moment so. And I'm saying yes, not a very challenging. Very, very challenging because see, even in the course of case, now we should be an need home come across no throughout. Lawyers were not interested. Or when so a case, we by then watch challenge it and ask or no so to do away with corruption. Yeah, they are very into crowd. I mean, you could see from their faces say we response. Omu did do atem omu trim. It do no be an income. Tinaya ankonam. No, virtually nobody. Na ankonam.
Interesting.
Just say would they find would they but timer yenya evidence exhibits ni na you review exhibits no. Now the only idea not say to convince the court to admit say evidence no are credible.
Do you think say it takes passion to drive through that line?
Of course. Okay. Because only passion now you'll be disinterested. Okay. Don't mean be disinterested no. Ehwana abemabu na otwe ho. But passion I say this is what I want to do because see how will you feel? And she said, we are not in your cry yet to extend no beer who say, I mean, inputa, would you read Juma Muno? A beer, a normal Bakumi, and be Namananqui. But one Cassadi, a wire Jumano. It's not easy, even going to languages to look for language experts. Yes, or translating Hausa to English. And I mean, easy, a consuming a whole now. No pressure to grab a numbi. I'm telling you, because it wasn't easy. Why? Because of the individuals involved. Cannot hear Agyapong and Anas. Huge.
And in your beer, you leading no senior brother person prove a point. Say, me can't say na me.
And yet, me can't say you me share evidence now. Okay. Not clearly, okay. But how do you convince the court? Okay. Because materials no any evidence no. O share Anas ne kwakwesiasia nkrofo or set even after a case in Ukraine onya judgment no. Then we got to additional evidence. I don't know adubu ahede no. Ken had it 2 years before answer Anas ni release. Ne kutana ya had 2 years before. So ni port the buy na within that system it did not your crime pie as some avenue can say the bantama kabema nipa kra ehu nipa no suban mo tika dubu ahede no nka enye nwanwa it did not me my task was to convince the court for the court
materials na wanya no a rich kra no akwan be fa so abegina court to argue to convince the court no say another
of course because see evidence now they ban also be corroborated and then pan also credibility until the moment fortunately Ken is known to have that credibility fortunately is any pani obi a enim say we can say be and throw no kan one judge no nipa o society until say nipa no krebi onim no tasem o kan na put premium on it o hwe ne sa na o siri woni tiri mo say akọ minim say on kan no kre but he ono no one case no dey ban no interest bia o mpemu sika just say opesu ohun say na nipa ne tie ema obi ate ase enti nipa no ote wona o ye judge no you have to witness na ono sa the evidence aba no o say evidence no otimi corroborate plus or additional witnesses so almost ba so to say in the case of say or grabelands there's a gentleman called Adolf na on na court Adolf for any subsequent judgments against him so a trespassing on assassin okay and as judgments in your exhibit and he say am pass judgment also we what trespassing on be landa or case o grabelanda what he's saying is true we corroborating and right there with a court of competent jurisdiction judgment so many evidence now the evidence now back because the judge is an umpire he sits between two persons who are making opposing arguments. It also put credibility on the all kind of correct. It do law school is back at Kumasi court. Say Obi Fran Tomano Jinada Kama. No be some question also and to say I just okay.
I trust on this funny dream no.
On the funny dream no I to man say I say or that is a dream ho. Oh, and no judge into Vegas we have no judge same way. oni answer be for assembly etu ahwe ho no be dey obobagu enti evidence I dey court tie dey nipa no be corroborate with other witnesses there ehun hia enya sa because you see in civil cases you only need 51 out of the 100 to win your case 51 unya 50 na unya 1 ka ho the case abreme court etina ne papa mu a ebia me boss kwam je o kan asem kire mo say client ba ho a o ka kire o say one adane no say -1
okay
every time it doesn't matter who that person is
on kan nyina nkosi
obe what enya fane senya rukra no ka kire because ono obi na wa asem wonti oni pakro de enti ebe ya senya documents and ode ma na support no de for example nya land matter and ultimately say abrantie documents ekutani o he all searches and in the title and no man in lisa unhu lacuna bia un space bia enti we de or you credible to bet ma pursue most of the times you have to do further investigations to confirm so some any panic catch on eyampa because
between yourself and Ken why na encouraging ne yongo
already on statement they are indifferent or say ohu ade no na enokre no evidence na he will fight it. It doesn't matter whether he wins or lose. Okay. But they are not any ma me minister me lose.
We lose, yeah.
Because me kona me lose a emwa me career.
Yeah.
Di ono no ewo sa de na then it means you have to put in extra effort to go to wherever obenya evidence na mo support to nsem a o kan. Even to the extent say be evidence bi okra otuaka.
Yeah.
Thousands of dollars no waje. Oh, just any pani be almost so about Bejino Casania or no, because somebody may come after or no. But credibility of a day no. In the case of an answer, a video, who watches the watchman? Now I admit in part, but I deny in part. Then my question was that the who deny no, what is your contrary evidence?
Okay.
So to say, what admit it, said this part is clean. This one you are denying. The moment you are denying this one, then you have to rebut it. What is your contrary evidence?
Matthias here. Matthias, I say a tum dia so me who say fita.
Sanity. Edit me who omo issue writ of summons. Then we file our defense, and in our defense we say, look, the statements are true, factual, and therefore they are justified. And you lay out justification, any truthfulness of only statement, or tie. So then in their reply, Osio, and nobody be a yampa, but when would the yampa? The yampa, you have to lead evidence to confirm with any pan a day, as some to swear yampa.
And easy.
So because the moment I say, my defense, my words are true, and so therefore they are justified. No, the burden behooves on me to prove sense. Some American a yampa.
O cancel the evidence and at all.
Sanity. So to her exhibits I attach here KO1, KO2, KO3, and KO4. It be proceedings and a free court. Omukra side no money say because omo dey search omukra no they came with a contrary document. Say case be you try move for want of prosecution because now based on who watches the watchman babantu democracy omo can hear then the case became basa and all that. Now we know corroborate at the end. Now a very challenging.
Mami comment kakra. Oh, can say a passion. How do you combine that with politics? We say we combine money at the ne law no. Obet me a jalo na to say you want to go to parliament while we have passion here there. And I still have a person practicing now.
Oh, was a parliament there. Your lawyers are still they come to court. Omo MPs. I can name a number of them. Omba parliament no more AI. So, but politics is also passion because when I'm going to see and see for my mini, we need people can ask much. Obi crow when people were dear children who officer. Oh, well, let me put it this way: be officer or a pro MPP media person. And the MPP who want to know can ask them say or expect this about Buano. Unya akufo-addo, ebe back consistently. At that time, you have become part of the political process.
Yeah.
Edime nanado minya appointment bia but no tumi kan manage it.
Yeah.
But bia no abeka we be jiwe di say dabi. But me passion no law politics yes. ade because ade everyday ade bibi enti the combination unless you are lazy okay na untumi nye ade bi because ye tia broche say etimi adwuma menu miensa eno kra demand say on da bebre free ano sorry na okwa ade chen ya na wasan ayi enti nimienu de combined you can do it say obi MP say minister the same thing
you can do it enti samre ya yeah, quite now back to I think say well, there 25 days to go. Share from 1992 Eba said yeah, man yourself baby do sabre yeah improve as a country.
Oh yeah, improve. Yeah, improve because say ene enye tuo ne dey adwuma na say asem timba na ekọ Supreme Court and I High Court and I Court of Appeal etwen ema decision ba na e bind obi a huge improvement in our democratic dispensation. And Tiano de because first in the only way. And what me akasetia abaimpu. Ebi na me kai mo say na me say first in ka bantama kra ne ho na akoshe ndisi shirt. If you kra utim kra no, ye te say we o ndisi ni a. No ya hwe a. Just obi akra ne uni agro. Because of that Rollins perception say obeha Ashanti business persons, including a man ma see or abuse you bini ade kakra bi na no mo bold to say we are part of the NDC politically na bantama NDC timi rally no long queue omo share NDC shared openly. It means you improve the same as when you go to Akachi and I say yes and I South Town North Town ade ebi affairs no obi ntumi nka say oye UP ni anasa MPP ni by na saa de ni no obi em ene kra say NDC ni hu say ne yonko NDC ni attack NDC ni a assault na ono akra betimi akwa kugina aye witness amano and we have seen situations that MPs the biological brothers MPP NDC I be a parliamentar ukọ abusua bebrema ebi ho enti ya improve 92 dey say ya baba anima 96, 2000, 2004, and then 8, 12, 20, and then we are going to 2024.
Improvement question based on the course of parliament, in the speak of parliament, I started from the first parliament, copying 7th parliament. India when I didn't hear course, you improve. Be an idea course we. Why do you know a part of the process?
Yes, we're a test case because you've been see that.
Okay.
You've been see that in a sense, you know, parliament 138, 137. Ebin sida na anyasi esi ye no before 2019 before say about 2020 elections MP one go primaries or say the next parliament or be independent speaker then MPP the voting no majority of MPs in the voting man be speaker or say by virtue of article 97(1)(g) what vacate there you are no more a member of this parliament that parliament until you have a vacant seat and no pamono. That time one challenge and no independent, no win here. This time you were 4 MPs, 1 NDC, 2 MPP, then 1 independent. I had the same independent here first, now I MPP. Also about MPP back. 2 MPs, so much independent. Now, the current speaker ruling on whether or not one vacate or seat. He made reference to what happened under Professor Kwe. And also I say no worry, but because Udemuti or senior no because parliament be and bind the parliament be.
Okay.
However, he went ahead and said, say, vacate or seat. Now parliament being bind the parliament be. Adena obi make a decision in the future. I be affect 9th parliament. Now, Timmy make his decision. No,
okay.
Mummy, you or no Casano or say parliament being by the parliament be. Even though Speaker Okay said, Wama for me, Nino advocating the seat. Now, on yet no more in because of Castle or Becoino. Or no, dear, sa particular day now, Castle of vacate, sa 4 season. Now, vacate by looking at the future parliament. A contradiction. There's a problem. Until 97(1)(g), the reason why I agree with majority leader say Obeko Supreme Court, ubu friendly partner, ubenya various opinions on 97(1)(g). Nipa Rebecca Omodie. Saba it means there's an ambiguity. I hear cure. Okay. Where do you cure that ambiguity?
Supreme Court.
You go to the Supreme Court. Ebina NDC for ne be argue say, oh, majority leader should have gone to the High Court. Omo asa say, Speaker Baben say, and yet ruling no yeah. Now he only did what? Express an opinion. So we're in line, maybe Speaker Baben Jina. Which means even within NDC caucus, including Speaker Baben, there's a problem. Ebimo say, I think High Court too. Now, some process now is Supreme Court, High Court ne trigger. Now, Kaba Supreme Court. Sana Bimu count. Sana the panel bisu say, Speaker Baben, or senior really no my, no expressive opinion, and now communicate TBB. Now communicate here. What is the effect of communication on any performer? What's in more municipal parliament? We have a KT on seat, and there's a judicial decision. I say, my own call back so that you let the statu quo ante remain until the final determination of the matter in a judgment. You know? And then you refuse to make pronouncement on an order which has been served on you by a process server who is the bailiff of the court. Why? Because only Supreme Court in Yadrin. But the Supreme Court in Yadrin cry. Or say who say the Supreme Court when it speaks, it becomes binding on everybody, even though you may disagree.
Professor Ansasa said na Judicial and Cassese Supreme Court cry entertain this assembly.
That is his opinion. In the minds of the judges, almost feel say also omoje. Sentina, Oko Supreme Court, not decision by minority decision and majority decision. There are some judges who say, look, this one we decide.
Production won't check in a year and for MME. MPP still remains the majority. Reporter Eba from production no. And Timohe Kwagumovia na check in a year and for Mamenafi. Yentimi any home komo kakra. Enti near Cosway.
Basa court look at say City 12.
Nipa bebre no ano ewa adwene bi se as a speaker oya ye ka yenka bi anase dubre bi e se otubedo na isi form ewo niema bi ho na atumi ama because o person o kire se judicial and executive no person mo bre parliament no na ase na sans enkomo no ebi no ya ye se as why na adwene se o kan person obi abeka bi
sa language, you know, I disagree with him because you see, I've always maintained the position, sir. Supreme Court, and your busybody. And court on anka saying, generally, a busybody, many sure saying, Simbia or Ghana, I can't say. And the quadenta court in the coin, no so to the coin. Adenta, for example, now they are forced to do morning and afternoon shifts for the court system because there are over 500 to 600 cases unattended. The same as so too. It is a woman for us some court no and sorry in Kokase.
Now can some City 12 say almost city earlier than time now work baby amenya report ni free no a 5-2 majority decision for Raphael marking
5-2 so the two looking at this court I have the two in mind.
Maybe I may see a mountain, so that's surprising.
Oh, I have the two. Say two now. I have the two in mind, but I won't say
it. Oraba Mbami, that's my work. I say
now. Some check it and we're sitting now. Say constitutional matter. You know, 7 judges. Motion 5 in the channel, so the 2 Benny are there because 5 in the minimum say leadership the Chief Justice, Justice Siedu, Justice and let's go. Justice Mariama Owusu and then Justice Asari. Into 2 Ben account. And I heard the voice of Justice Tanku.
Okay.
And minim the other one. Minim the other account.
Yeah, quite anyone ever heard
it. 5 now am I consistent in their rulings when it has to do with the interim orders now. In the Gina 5, then the other 2 no will dissent.
I see. Anyway, young can just my busa offer Nasma or can say judiciary no and executive na can boom person bre parliament. I say no na would
and I make say I disagree with him because speaker majority leader for your marking on the court and I say sa issue e bi abada se see a ebi sen boba. In order for no to come to one conclusion, say this is the position of the law. No, make a Supreme Court. I'm a Supreme Court at church near the finality aba. Ebi kase oh issue ananka umbetimi atena Senate president afre no resolve. No.
I didn't know.
Because a cyber sorry about BM, a sorry about better and resolve it. It's also a flow BM. But when it is backed by a position, a judicial decision, Obiabe who say na the entity. Etiana said you can judgment free Supreme Court say no. Say they are looking at the future. Say 9071 a future assembly can. Then it means say next time say Obi echo the 9th parliament. Now say do point you know say any crossing of capital. Where do you say notice of pool no me as independent. Intimate ne party way NDC MPP enkobium. Now this time make a year. You never who say decision now making is our time. It's in reference to future parliament. No baby or tennis is here. Yeah. Near Tia Wasi. And you have been a Biumba Bessina Case. Previously, the president intervened and as a for Kai in Tiasankoa. Esa for consistency. Now there is consistency. It is Okasa meaning yarding. Okay. So judiciary, you know, I don't know about the executives. I'm unable to speak for the executive. But I dare a bear your partner say, Speaker, or a lawyer, or better no see on a decision from court, whether or not he agrees or not. A bear because one day. Say or personal issue our court. Na koba say your mouth the snare in favor. Na opponent ne kasa ono so on ne nya adwontie odesa. Where will he go? Ain't fa na abeko. The judiciary is a last resort. Enti na say coup see a God forbid. E dey be na parliament see dissolve. Executive branch in dissolve. And ka judiciary pay. Your purpose of it. Enti any say undermining the respect and integrity of the court. Whether you agree or not. You know, to me, and you be there by majority decision here, Baba Khan, and you're unanimous. Say majority. Yeah, majority. It means Obi anyone when you're drinking. So it is possible someone when you're drinking crowd. Ombeka say probably the process should have started from it be a high court and send a drew. Maybe in principle, when you're drinking say clause no, a future clause, but the thing should have started from the high court. Possible. I mean, Okasa speak and Okasa, and then for the sake of our democracy and consistency in the judiciary. And then Yadri. Do you think that young queen with this hang parliament, you're to a baby and a say a baboa? Emwa because you're to a government now over power. Who objectives are Upaso achieve. It is Okoyan say a challenger. And then they want a sofa. Citizenry in a sofa. Into Emwa. I mean, yeah, but yeah, soon of course. We have political parties now. Medium be example. Nipa ni bi won be nipa ade yasa ohwe na nimu osiwe de or a parliamentary candidate mean to man ba meto ma presidential candidate no because of ade ode many ade na ekwakofa sa no manaba. As a politician, you must learn to live like a politician. Personal interest in the queen. Personal interest and comfortable politics in the queen. And it is all because you allow any pabia or the politics, no. I career, without politics, they can do anything just to survive.
Lawyer Raphael, so mamina, young Kwahman, so young Vessi and Sabeka, the Attorney General, Republic of Ghana, girlfriend, Dame. You're a Dame Sotimenka, Yamakwaba.
That's it. I'm a chair for the TV.
Okay. Na Boko de.
What's a Boko? Now, sir.
Yeah, we. Cecilia, na yedi wo ha yenya report say near Udi animo wo parliament ene majority no FM no. Kunimdie aba. Wada Romana court necessary.
Court no reasons are the demand for the judgment. I'm sorry for that now. But court no decisions only 7 members. Until 5 enum na agree with us. Now 2 7 they were dissenting, said they were disagreeing on the issue of judgment. Until I think that for me it brings clarity to the situation.
Omuma muhunu enumne me no said yes and I just say
right. Many number me say thank you about Avril Lovelace Johnson.
oh okay.
Yes. But at least 5-2 is quite clear. It's a very clear majority of the court. I just say 5-7 agrees with us.
Yeah, democracy very young. We know at the end of country.
It will be important to start with that to quite see or parliament important. In that case, first, for the constitution is quite clear. The meaning of Article 9+1 by CNH. I just say the constitution here. There's no other conclusion center or average. But now it's a court. The special court no. In where no me no last 2 weeks no. In case parliament no it so easily. But this democracy there. I mean this country of ours, as I indicated, you go for man. Sometimes no credit home part, no more money or money go so. No matter the number of times that they correct, I'll be catch up and say correct. Still, they hold on to their wrong views. Court nakasa. Obi any option be I say you'll be court ruling. Now, constitutional example, say a day like this will okay. That is why in Article 2, clauses 3, 4, and 5, constitutional what will happen when the Supreme Court gives a decision or order. Article 2, clause 3 says, Obia Supreme Court better say, yes, say, yes, sir, as all year. Now, 1 year, it constitutes what we call a high crime. We are president, we are vice president, waiting for you every office. See, it doesn't matter whether you are Speaker of Parliament, you must comply with the decision of the court. Now, some who America, UK, Germany, countries are more democracy, no, according. Court can say, we can say, well, court is there, I am there. But, as all this one. Sunday, we President Akufo-Addo 2013 Supreme Court Kasai say we're losing the case of 5-4. In your I'm not saying it, but say court Nakasa and no obediso. Now obejai Feza Manaka. So really, I mean, and you have say you want to negotiate. Say BSA can want some answer. There's no option. Court Akasa. It's not High Court and I say District Court. Even if a District Court, Circuit Court, High Court in part, a Casa, and so this one, unless when you file the appeal, now appeal as a city. So you now one day may prepare Alcohol High Court after forcing case. Now the lawyers about office or firm so Court of Appeal like Casa, Court of Appeal say after forcing the case to answer. I mean, clearly, they're wrong. But, of course, I'm okay, then we cannot continue. And then, names mean to us. Now, pass to date, almost my trust. Into a case, the only thing I've done is to appeal to Supreme Court, hoping say one day Supreme Court be hear a case. No, and Supreme Court hear a case, and I say, Omubua, I say, Omubua Maya, and I trust. Sana, every civilized democratic order, things should be done. Now, last week of Parliament, Nankasampu, on my press statement, press address, comment on making is a case of our court for our Supreme Court. No? It raises very serious legal issues and matters bordering on governance and politics of the nation. That's why I'm really saying if it raises very serious legal issues, and finally, they argue legal issues. Air court. Let's say court and right. What one file the person. Also, I want to answer one lawyer on that. I'm not saying right, no problem at all. But maybe once Supreme Court Nakasano, and they so this one. As I said, Indeed, I think that sometimes what we call the hypocrisy and the contradictions of people must be called out. I mean, certain people must be known for who they are. They give you what with one hand and they take with another. They speak with one side of their mouth and they speak with another on the same issue. Well, also, I say democracy country, and Yapa, I see a preserve democracy, say. Now, Supreme Court more than that, and the one person. Now, I say, I mean, so I think that it is not negotiable. That Supreme Court order must be complied with. It lends itself to no argument. Any person to whom an order of the court is directed has no option but to comply.
My final question. Now that the Supreme Court can say, "Oh my, nipa na no, my back no." We have say when so anyway no difference be wo mu a the nipa o can say wabutu omo nkonwa no. Omo restate omo back when so me hu ni say when so sa na me hu no. Anyway Supreme Court can we gi this obedi so.
I mean yes, as well so. And this is Seneca country be chaotic. So we are no penoye. Court more that court order so okay made so. And order also mean so. I mean same parliament. Various acts or mrapia omo passe parliament to passe. Supreme Court abogu. Yeah, lady, and not only so. COVID-19 law. President akufo-addo my passe. Supreme Court say unconstitutional. Not only this so. And I see my society at the force in case. Court of appeal say enjoy. All we have to do is to appeal because there's one opportunity of a further appeal to the Supreme Court. So until Supreme Court be my sad determination and one more. Otherwise,
appeal, no,
it is not a matter. Yes, if I appeal long ago.
Okay, right.
But Supreme Court then listed for hearing.
Okay.
When we hear one of lawyers on made it now then court for Supreme Court my case we have to for a free marking case no and a free marking case yedi when at to force in there no at all is indeed no. I answer a mumbo here. See, and I think the point I'm making has a lot of significance for good governance and the preservation of the constitution that we are operating with. Indeed, also bringing back I am a tourism. So court and has been my tourism. Now, and this is what we know. I'm no more to a little songs. Hey, no. And some rule democracy. Oko America, no call a UK. Who's the MPCS? No more match or the same crown. Now, no. Because as I'm for second for whom, yes, every woman I'm working, and I see middle class and worker. Middle class we should see, and then for who they are. So, boom, bra.
Attorney General, I know actually a casa.
That's
Attorney General, Republic of Ghana, Godfrey Dame, and then the Dinko. Why?
So the market now no so
okay. I see. And we senior.
Oh yeah, Godfrey should be 21 years at the bar.
Hey. And I watch it. Wow.
Should be 21 years. No, I'm a teaching assistant.
I see.
And I jogati in an lecture, company law, and I know your TA. I'm sorry. Or 2003 call. Okay. Yeah, and he should be 21 years at the bar.
And a young one was say be any panomino, Mremuno or more.
Oh, Bakunyam.
Okay.
Names now, Mediama.
Yeah.
First one in Yamma, second one.
Names and also Obono said the old trauma of a penty. At you for the body can not say anyone. Yeah. Yeah, toss you know the enya no wanwa. Ba ko yo ba ko so ye be ma. Okay.
Say ni pa anyo ba be ma.
Anyway, what did you say this time around? Speaker of Parliament, Obedi nia.
Oh yes, and Attorney General kind. So anya Article 2, and then the sub-clauses now is 30 years. Our consequences. And I mean, feel say no the wanya this time, the AG will be compelled to trigger.
Okay.
Sub processes. I bear Commission of High Crimes. What I say, serious under our Constitution. And for the sake of, you see, I can say
25 days.
25 days. 25 days in the Emudu do say na umbeko Parliament. Ebia omako Parliament and 10 days pe. Maybe after election, no laws be also pass bills be also pass man bill law 10 then they'll go back and do the needful. So why do you hold this republic to ransom? That is our only concern. The rule of law there. Maybe any MPP and DC playbook no. Yeah. As for that, they can write their own play and then act on it. But when it comes to the judiciary, it should be sacrosanct. Okay. And he said, "Yama, a normal way to home na why senior lawyer 40 years or so. I'm told 1984 call. That's a normal say to me who the seriousness. Now I say, what kind of blind eye? Are they why now who had the republic?" It is a true so say I'm running a car. I say Attorney General triggers our processes in man running car.
The final question here, sorry, so election no, it may call either way.
Hey, the edika I say a bomb pie say be a peaceful election. Okay. And they toss me you know. MPP aye Juma nibi. And the campaign, and I said, "No, no, kind." I said, "Intensify." Now, sa last minute, you know, or more, before kakra or mumu apati no mano. It me because see, now no me no do come. We America course I me yina. I'm not for just say grocery intina. You two of mine. Grocery, you call grocery store come to Tonyama. CNN, even Kosianu yina create a double. Be a price. Be a price a double. And the typical American now, no, on Virginia, Washington DC, it doesn't care about politics. Yes, ne bottom, no man now, extra for no, and the money freely said, be because a COVID crown, a COVID reliefs, a match checks in the other. None the panel be free, said Trump, and the checks in a bro. However, Democratic Congress, and our passing law, see a massive scam. It you see many panel says, we are see baby ID. Now, yet me safeguarding where MPP has taken Ghana to. Okay. Say the bear when they be comfortably. Name on say being a peaceful election, and that's the most important thing.
I mean, no, I say for coming.
Mr. Medas.
Raphael Agyapong, a legal practitioner, and the Dean production team. No, see, I'm going to ask you, Breno. Yame, I don't want. And they have another number. But the programs are coming in.